Hey guys, today we'll be reacting to some of the gruesome UFC injuries in history, so subscribe. And without further ado, let's get to it.
Everyone knows of John Bones Jones, but a lot of people do not remember when he had this
Oh, Joe
horrific injury
Rogan.
after his fight with Chael Sonnen. Chael and John had both coached their teams in Ultimate Fighter 17. After Team Sonnen had won, these two guys would end up fighting at UFC 159. Jones was successful with the takedown executed in the first 10 seconds of the fight. Chael was able to have some luck trying to get out of the clinch, but John was able to dominate most of the fight. This fight was John's 5th title defense in the light heavyweight division. Even though Chael had some success, John was way too skilled to where Chael was able to defend all of Jones' strikes. John was able to have 3 successful takedowns while Chael had to even put up 1. This injury had happened right when John had been wailing down on Chael, the last few seconds of round 1. John had put Chael away by TKO with about 28 seconds left. When the ref had broken up the fight, John still hadn't noticed how his toe had been dislocated. If stubbing your pinky toe sucks, I wonder how this would have felt without the adrenaline kicking in. Man, that looks so bad.
Ugh.
On to the next one. Leslie Smith's ear explodes. We're all familiar with cauliflower ear.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know what it doesn't look that appealing. This was the time when Leslie Smith's ear exploded in her fight against Jessica Eye at UFC 180. This fight was very good to watch because both ladies were exchanging a plethora of punches. Jessica Eye had landed 35 strikes in the first minute of the round, while Leslie had only thrown 8. Leslie was clearly the slower fighter, but was able to take the fight to Jessica rather than trailing back. This one is too hard to watch just by the amount of blood that spurted out. Leslie's ear was already bleeding in the first round, but this didn't cause the ref to call the fight just yet. Eventually the cut had gotten so bad when Jessica had thrown her punch, it caused the cauliflower to burst, causing the blood to come out. That does not look good. When Jessica had thrown her punch, it caused the cauliflower to burst, causing the blood to come out. That is not.
Damn! Oh my god! Y'all see that? Ooh, I know that gotta hurt. And it like did a powder like you saw in movies, the of blood.
But hats off to Leslie for taking it like a champ and continuing the fight.
Yeah,
Not
she a
noticing her ear
real
was
one.
literally in half. But fortunately, Herb Dean had stopped the fight for the doctor to check the ear, and later made their decision to stop the fight. You can even hear the crowd's reaction that they were not really wanting to see the injury. Leslie was not too happy when the fight got called, due to her screaming that she wanted to continue the fight. I got nothing but respect for that. Even though she was way behind on the scorecard, you can't blame her for wanting to keep going.
Okay.
Matt Mitrione's eye. Honestly, eye pokes are the worst. I'm pretty sure we've all had that moment with your eye being poked by a finger or something, and you're cringe just thinking about it. During his fight against Travis Brown at UFC Fight Night 81, Matt had one of the more interesting injuries. During his fight against Travis Brown, Travis had poked Matt's eye twice. The first time it happened, the fight was stopped. But then the second time, Matt decided to keep going. This injury is one of the craziest looking ones because it looks so
God
fake.
damn!
The swelling was so bad that he wasn't even able to see out of his right eye. The crowd was not happy that Travis did not get any points deducted due to the cheap moves. Boos rang all over the TD Garden in Boston when Brown had his hand raised, being announced the winner. Even after Travis knew that he had poked Matt's eye twice, he had still attempted to take Matt to the ground, and was obviously able to do it with success. There were a lot of fingers pointing at the ref for not doing anything about it, but by then it was already too late. Later it was discovered in the hospital that Matt had suffered a fractured orbital bone. To show Matt some respect for still continuing the fight while his face was looking like this. Anderson Silva's leg snaps. I'm pretty sure most of y'all are familiar with the Anderson Silva injury. This is one of the more interesting ones. In a sport where leg kicks are huge, it is funny to forget that 1 inch off can make a huge difference in injuring your opponent or yourself. Anderson Silva had fought Chris Weidman both times and was able to lose because of his own mistakes. The first one I'm pretty sure we all remember. Chris Weidman was setting up for a punch when Anderson started faking that he had gotten wobbled, but then actually got wobbled. This caused Anderson to lose his belt to Chris.
See, don't ever talk shit. I go by rules. Don't you ever talk shit in a fight. When you're about to fight, like some reason when I watch fights, a shit talker always gets his ass laid the fuck out. That's what I believe. So
this next one's in the second fight. He was going to get his rematch against Weidman. Pretty much the second fight I completely started off with just the ground game. Then eventually had the second round of punching and kicking exchanges. This one literally makes my stomach hurt. After Chris had gone for a body kick, Anderson tried to clap back with a leg kick, but ended up snapping his shin in half. Silva had broken both the tibia and the but ended up snapping his shin in half. Silva had broken both.
Why does that look like elastic, man, when he expands? God damn!
Both the tibia and the fibula.
Okay, alright.
Mirror snaps Tim Silva's arm. This next injury is very intense, especially since this was one of Herb Dean's most tedious moments. This one was quite horrific to watch because it was to Tim Silva. Tim Silva was his former 2-time UFC heavyweight champion. The bout between Frank Mir and Tim Silva was at UFC 48 back in 2000.
See, him, that dude, the dreads in the middle with the mic, he's always in UFC. And there's a cut man who's always in the movies because I believe he played in some UFC movies, and the cut man, the popular one.
Everyone knew how much of a beast Tim Silva was,
Ooh.
which is why it was a really big surprise to see how the fight had turned out. This fight was a highly anticipated fight because of Frank Mir's size and how he was able to harness a lot of strength, especially when it came to clinching or submissions. He was able to beat big fighters such as Brock Lesnar, Antonio Silva, Todd Duffy, and even Roy Nelson. But this fight took a strange turn. When the fight had started, both fighters had some exchanges of punches and kicks, till 10 seconds later the fight had gone to the ground. Tim Silva had had his arm trapped between Frank's legs, looking like he was setting up for an armbar. As Herb Dean watched closely, he had seen that Tim's arm had broken, but still continued to not tap. Herb did not want to take any chances and decided to call the fight immediately. It ended up with the crowd slightly booing while Tim confronted Herb. Joe Rogan even went back on the replay and considered it to be a broken arm.
President is inside the octagon opposite of our replay.
Ooh.
Herb explains a little bit more on what happened and why it seemed to have looked like it was broken.
I said, man, did you know your arm was broken? And he told me, he goes, yeah, I know. Well, then what was your plan? Why are you trying to continue? So I knew I had a minute before the pain really became crippling. The weird is how his arm went back into place. How young and muscular. I talked to the doctor. They say that happens sometimes with athletes. The muscles just put it right back in. Yeah.
This injury is from the most recent fight from the Contender Series between Joe Pyfer against Dustin Stolfus. Dana White had made his appearance to watch, not knowing what was about to happen. It was due to Dustin picking up Joe in order to slam him, causing Joe to stick his arm out in order to cushion the fall.
Ooh!
Honestly, to watch
this you saw that bone too!
Causing his elbow to disc Joe in order to slam him, causing Joe to stick his
Oh shit! Look, you see it right there. Oh my god. Damn!
Honestly, to watch this happen during a fight is pretty sad to see, especially since both are phenomenal athletes. And the respect Dustin shows Joe is really nice to watch. I honestly wish for a speedy recovery and hope these two will fight each other again to showcase their skills. I don't know about y'all, but what is up with Dana's reaction? He somewhat seems too happy.